Hey, welcome to the Podcast. My name is Neal. Neal's my name. Neal's not who I am. Neal's an aspect of who I am. Who I am is a multi-dimensional, infinite spiritual being that's expressing through a human body. I'm a child of God the Father, and um, the same I am energy that's flowing through Neal's body is the same I am energy that's flowing through your body watching this live stream. So, welcome. And right now, in this moment, um, there's something alive, which is this thing of commitment, and um, so with commitment in the past, I've thought about like, okay, so if I have a commitment, then that commitment has me be basically like restricted in some way. It has me be um, held back from having capacity to choose other options, and uh, that is true to an extent, but there's a higher truth, which is there's commitment is access to freedom. And freedom from what? Well, freedom from having to think about what you're going to be doing because a commitment's already in place, which is like a foundation. It's like something to ground into that, like, hey, because this commitment exists, I'm free to flow inside the channel of this commitment. And in the past, when I thought of commitment, I thought that the commitment was the restriction part of the commitment I was feeling was directly correlated to um, not having capacity to like flow in the moment. But like right now, like with commitment, the incredible thing is that like I can have a commitment, and I'll use an example. And the example would be like showing up for an appointment at 2 o'clock tomorrow, being Thursday. And so I can have this commitment, and then so now let's say it's within a half hour of this commitment, and I've arranged my schedule to accommodate it, but I recognize that maybe I'm not able to follow through with what I had intentionally, like literally planned for to be at this appointment. And when that shows up, what can I do then? Well, what I can do is I can create a new commitment, and so commitment is malleable, and we only need to continue to be committed if we're like attached to that specific outcome. And sometimes in what I've seen literally in my own life is that God will have me commit to something to then, and then we'll just create scenarios that literally have that commitment be like super interesting. Interesting being a word to demonstrate how scenarios will show up, people will show up, conversations will show up that will it will seem like a detour from the commitment that I originally had. And it'll be like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to be able to actually show up for this commitment? Like, all this other stuff happened. And people that make excuses take excuses. So when those people show up, when that environment shows up, when that conversation shows up, where it's just like I've got an actual commitment, but like this thing's alive right now and it's here in my face. So what do I do with that? I could use that to create an excuse, but if I choose to create an excuse, I'm gonna be opening myself up to receiving excuses from other people. So an alternative is to acknowledge that that commitment was to get you moving in a certain direction. And then sometimes God comes into our life and is like he'll so there's the original commitment, so he'll have the commitment of like, hey, be at this appointment at 2 o'clock on Thursday. And then things will show up during the day, environments, conversations, people will come and flow throughout the day where it affects the capacity to be at that commitment. And then and we are the creator. I am the creator, so I can only create people, conversations, situations coming into my life and use them to not be at that commitment. And that's being responsible for showing up or not showing up. Either way, being totally responsible for it. So so God can have us go in a direction to get us moving, and then uh, once we're moving in the direction that He originally intended, give us new direction before we even get to the commitment. Like, He'll get us moving, or we'll get ourselves moving, but ultimately it is God. But we decide whether we're going to choose into like full we decide whether we're going to fully step in to embrace the direction that God is asking of us to go. And then what and then God will put these things into our life, and then that's like a signpost, like, hey, it's time for a new commitment, or it's time to we were going straight and it's now time to take a right turn and go this direction. And that direction, that right turn, can then be a new commitment. It can then be a new decision. And because of that, see, most people think when they make a commitment, it's locked in stone. That's not the case. Although in my how I operate is as if it is locked in stone, but I have this innate knowing that it's malleable and that I can decide in the moment. I can choose to have a new commitment to take that right turn, and am I to do that, then that right turn, that new direction is still in alignment, and it's and what is it in alignment with? See, that's where purpose comes in. See, if the commitment is ego based, we'll just power through. We won't. God will say, "Hey, take the right turn," and we'll be like, "Nope, I already got this commitment." So an ego based commitment won't. Will Here's what an ego based commitment will have a person the action a person will operate from most of the time. And this is an action of when we so from an ego-based commitment, which would usually be a commitment that is for pleasure, for significance, for control, or for manipulation of ourselves or other people. Some of the time it's unconscious. most of the time it's unconscious when it's ego-based. When it's ego-based and it is conscious, that's like a double layer. But from an ego-based commitment, the insight will come to take the right turn, and we'll like completely disregard it because we're so focused on getting to the commitment that we essentially put blinders on to the subtleties of life that are occurring around us all the time. And what we do is that we just focus on the commitment that was made from our ego to the extent that there's subtlety occurring, and from an ego-based commitment, that subtlety is missed from the space of needing to get to the commitment. So there's this attachment along with a neediness to get there from an ego commitment. Now, from a purpose commitment, which would be a commitment that maybe the body doesn't want to do, maybe Neal doesn't want to make this commitment, but my soul, like the thing that is animating this body, that thing, that essence, that spirit that I am, that's pouring through, that aspect has this innate knowing that this commitment is for the highest benefit of this body of Neal, and then also will be of the highest benefit to people around by being of benefit to Neal. And from a purpose commitment, it's a commitment made from the soul directly with God. And because of that, there's this direct connection with source, with I am, with spirit. And with ego commitment, we can't not be connected to God, but we can, from an ego commitment, we think that we don't like necessarily like need God. We think like we've got this, which is the illusion, and it's where the pitfall is in the we've got this. Yes, you got this, but yes, I've got this. Like Neal speaking, Neal's got this, but Neal has only got this to the extent that Neal surrenders what Neal wants and opens up to express what God's intentions are for Neal here on earth. And when I do that, and I make commitments from the place of what are God's intentions for Neal for being here on earth, I can then tune into the subtle life happening all around all the time. And when I listen to that, I can have a commitment, but I don't need to be had by the commitment. An ego commitment is people are usually had by it. Like they're not able to let go of it. It's like this thing's gonna happen no matter what. Well, no matter what. Like that no matter what is attachment and its resistance to like subtle movements of life, and all resistance is directly linked to suffering, and attachment is resistance to letting go of the thing, in this case being the commitment. So when we can commit to something and be detached from the commitment coming to fruition, then we can in the moment tune in. And when God has this thing of, all right, hey, take a right turn here, we'll actually listen to that. We'll actually hear that. We'll actually pick up on that when it's from a purpose place, and we'll take the right turn from a place of detachment from commitment to creating a new commitment that we can have and be unattached to it. But the commitment itself gives us a direction. It gives us a focus point. It gives us an orientation, and it gives us a direction to move in. And because of this, where focus goes, energy flows. So commitment is an access to moving in a direction and actually accomplishing something that wasn't possible before the commitment was made. And I think I'm gonna complete that with commitment. And I just want to speak to I'm a host of Natural Balance Masterclass, which is occurring every Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you want to show up, the link's in the description, and my email is also in the description. So you can reach out directly to me, Neal, and message me on my email, Natural Balance, and I can send you the direct Zoom link. And that's like a virtual space where you specifically show up to let go of your egoic identity, and you let go of your resistance to the expression of the true self through your body and the expression of the gift that is inside all of us. We're all one, but we're not all the same. Sameness and oneness aren't the same. It's our difference that is a contribution to all the parts of the whole picture. And so additionally, the Zoom link for Natural Balance is in the description. So you can also access the direct Zoom link in the description of this video. And these live streams that you're watching, these happen every Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time as well. And so I invite you to tune in and like this video, and be sure and share this content so that it can reach out to more people. And then the last thing I'm going to speak to is I have a physical in-person natural balance ceremony coming up, and it's called the Up Level Ceremony. The Up Level Ceremony is for plateaued healers and event facilitators that you've grown a lot. You've already been leading events and hosting, but you've reached a point where you feel like you're plateaued, and you have this knowing like there's more, there's another level. The Up Level Ceremony is designed for you. This is a 7-day event. It starts on December 27th, 2024, and it ends on January 2nd, 2025. And it's the first 5 days is a 5-day food fast, and also including 6 hours of meditation per day in those first 5 days, with some body movement in between the meditations to assist with the meditations themselves. And then after those 5 days, and additionally during those 5 days, it's completely silent. We're not talking to each other. So you're in your own space, going where? Within, going inwards, introspecting, cleaning, literally being cleansed from the inside out. And then on January 1st, 2025, the fast ends with fresh fruit, organic vegetables, and it's a minimum of $333 donation to attend this event. And my donation link is in the description of this video, so you can click the donation link and make your donation, and you can donate more. you get out what you put in. So if you find value in natural balance and you want to assist getting this out to more people, I invite you to donate more. And then lastly, after the 5 days, that we have 2 days of slowly introducing food to the body, and during this process, opening up conversation and uh, connecting and networking with the participants. There's a maximum of 30 participants that are going to be at this event. And so go register right now. And how you register is you make your donation. And then after you've made your donation, you send me a direct message and say natural balance, and like write the words natural balance to my email and say, hey, I've registered for the 5-day food fast. I've made the donation, and then as a bonus, you'll receive a 1-hour conversation with Neal. And in doing so, it's during that conversation that we'll go over any questions or comments you might have. And I'm inspired to see you in person, to see you here in rural Costa Rica, in nature. Like, we'll be in nature the whole time. And the specific location is on Earthquake and Grace 2 property. So if you're in, make this donation today. Now's the time. And with that, I love you. Your time is infinitely valuable. And one final thing, you are the change. So there's no more looking out there. It's time to be what you wish to see in the world, to embody the way of being of how you would love other people to be. And I love you. Peace.